I'm going to show you some exercises today to avoid Achilles tendonitis. In the video, you're going to see me leaning forward, keeping the one leg in front and one leg behind you. And the more straight the back leg is, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. Bend that front knee in front of you, right? And feel a little stretch behind that gastroc or that calf muscle. You're going to hold that for about 15 to 20, 30 seconds. Make sure you feel the stretch in the back of that leg. And of course, you have to do both sides. The more stretched out your calf muscle is, the better you'll be able to walk further distances and to avoid having any kind of pain that happens in the back of that Achilles or that tendon in the back of your heel. The Soleus Stretch is something that many people do not do. It's a stretch for the muscle that's actually underneath the gastroc muscle. One way to avoid Achilles tendinitis, or to avoid the pain that comes in that tendon as you're running, is to stretch out that soleus. In this video, you're going to see me leaning forward and not just keeping the leg straight this time, but I'm actually bending my knee. So my left leg is bent in the front and the right leg is bent behind me. As I'm doing that, you're seeing a stretch that should be happening, or feeling a stretch that should be happening in the back of that heel. As you feel that stretch, that means you're doing it right. And of course, you have to do both sides. That muscle, when it's stretched out, allows you to run a little further, to have less pain in the back of that heel, and to allow that Achilles tendon to have some tension taken off of it. Less tension means less pain. Continue to do that throughout the rest of your days. When you're running or even walking, you'll be able to make sure that you can go out there and run more miles every single time. Prancing is an exercise that we use to work on Achilles tendonitis. It's something that we can do to make sure that the Achilles tendon is strong enough to go out there and run your races, do your natural walk, or just to make sure that you can go into your toes. The calf muscle that we stretched out in previous videos is now pretty good to go, right? We did our Soleus stretch and our gastroc stretches. But one thing we have to really work on is that, can you going into your toes without pain? And prancing is that exercise that we can work on. In the videos, you'll see me going to my toes and pushing off bilaterally or on both sides. The best way to make sure that you can actually get ready to run is to see if you can prance. Now, if you can do that on both sides without pain and discomfort, you are in good shape. Simply push up onto those toes and then come back onto those heels. If you do it on both sides for about 1 minute or even about 10 feet back and forth, if that's pain-free, then you're good enough to go out there and get your runs back on. Anti-pronations are a way to make sure that your foot has proper alignment. Now, whether you have flat feet or not, it's something that we all can do to make sure that we have good foot intrinsic strength. But what is that? The amount of pressure that comes from running can be something that can be detrimental to us in the long run, especially if you're running for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 hours. So working on what we call anti-pronations is a way to make sure that your feet have the stability they need to get through your runs. What you're going to do is keep those feet on the ground and just imagine making an arch under your feet. You're gonna hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds, and every time you do that, you're engaging your intrinsic foot muscles to make sure your feet are gonna be strong enough to get through the hours of running you're gonna be doing on the pavement or on the courses that you'll be encountering this season. Make sure you do that on both sides, and again, do it before and after your workout. Eccentric heel raises are a common exercise that people do when they have Achilles tendonitis. So one of the things that happens is that the irritation that gets into that Achilles or that tendon can be unbearable. So we have to find ways to strengthen it without overworking it or causing more pain. In the video, you'll see me going onto my toes, and I'm slowly coming down with one foot. As I go up with 2, I'm coming down with 1 foot to engage the muscle eccentrically. The best thing that you can do when you have an itis or an inflammation of the tendon is to make sure that it lengthens properly. It allows you to recover faster. So, of course, you have to do both sides for this exercise, but make sure you go up for about 2 seconds and come down nice and slow for about 5 to 10 seconds. The slower you do it, the more you're going to be able to work that muscle efficiently and effectively.